Djokovic gets tired of Sinner after losing at the Six Kings Slam. Djokovic delivered a humorous speech after falling 6-4, 6-2 in the semifinals of the Saudi exhibition. It's Novak's 7th consecutive defeat against Sinner, 2 of them in the Six Kings Slam. The greatest tennis player of all time has found his true kryptonite, a player with very similar characteristics who has completely figured him out, so much so that he's beaten him 7 times in a row, 5 official matches, 2 of them in the Six Kings Slam. The latest came this past Thursday, when Sinner completely overpowered him with a resounding 6-4, 6-2 in just over an hour. Novak Djokovic, 38, fell in the semifinals of the Saudi exhibition tournament, in the same round and against the same opponent as last year. But this time it was different, he only managed 6 games and barely 10 winners, compared to the Italian's 27. The Serbian was outplayed from start to finish, barely competitive except for the first set, in which a single break from Jannik was enough. In 1 hour and 3 minutes, he suffered his 7th consecutive loss to Sinner, whom he greeted with a smile and even some irony. Minutes later, he took the microphone to address the fans. "I'm sorry you couldn't see a longer match. I tried to intimidate Sinner in the last game, but he was blasting the ball from every part of the court, he's just too good. It was my fault or his," laughing, "that the match didn't last longer. It never feels good to get your ass kicked on court," he said with a laugh. Meanwhile, the 24-time Grand Slam champion is beginning to live with the rumors about his retirement, but he's clear about it. "I have the body I have, I'm grateful to God for this career. I'd love for someone to swap my body for a younger one. Although I still have my forehand. I know it's getting very hard to beat Sinner, but I'll keep giving my best to make it happen," he concluded. Jannik Sinner knows he's in a privileged position to make history, but he also knows he can't relax one bit. He expressed this at the Six Kings Slam 2025 press conference, detailing his goals as well as how he lives day to day as a professional tennis player. His mentality continues to astonish both fans and experts. Jannik Sinner has overcome extreme situations, and at 24, he seems to have developed a mental strength few athletes achieve in their careers. Aware of the growing rivalry with Alcaraz, the Italian wants to keep enjoying tennis without losing professionalism, setting ambitious goals as he revealed in comments collected by Uba Tennis. "I'm trying to understand why I've been having cramps a bit more often than I'd like, but sometimes, there isn't always a reason. What's clear is that the mind is connected to the body," said Sinner, who wants to move past what happened in Shanghai. "I like being at the Six Kings Slam 2025 because it's a different kind of event that can promote tennis among new fans. I think we're all motivated to be part of the change this sport is undergoing. We know Saudi Arabia will be important in the future," explained the Italian. Asked about the difficulties of being a professional tennis player, Jannik Sinner shared a powerful reflection. "I consider myself very lucky to do what I do, but obviously, there are emotional ups and downs. We spend a lot of time away from our families, we're constantly traveling, and it's hard to have privacy. In any case, being a professional tennis player is a dream come true. I've turned my great hobby into my job, but I feel I must always see tennis as a pastime and play it with joy," he analyzed before talking about his winning mentality. "I want to play at the highest level for the rest of the season. The upcoming tournaments are very important to me. I must keep my fighting mentality, not relax at all, and continue improving every day. That's what brought me to #1 in the world. My ultimate goal in tennis is to win all the Grand Slams. I don't play to break records, but to play at the best possible level," stated Jannik Sinner, who will face Carlos Alcaraz in the final of the Six Kings Slam 2025. Alexander Zverev is not having his best year, and there are several reasons for that. The German insists it's due to a combination of physical problems that have prevented him from performing at his best, gradually affecting his confidence. But the clear superiority of Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz has also played a major role. "I love being a tennis player. Even though we travel for 11 months, I know I'm privileged, and I'm not comfortable complaining. This season has been very hard for me because of injuries. At the beginning of the year, I was world #2 and close to reaching #1. I know that's my level when I'm healthy, but I haven't been at that level at any point since then. Once I'm pain-free, I'll have to work to regain my best tennis and confidence. The key for me now is to get fit to approach 2026 in the best possible way," explained the German. Sasha's problems focus on his right shoulder, which relapsed at the Six Kings Slam 2025. "I had been feeling much better for a few days, but during the warm-up for my match, I felt pain again. It's been very bad luck. Tennis is a brutal sport, and it's hard to deal with this kind of issue. I need to consult my team about the best way to handle the recovery," said Zverev, who also spoke about the superiority of Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz over the rest. "Right now, both are light years ahead of everyone else. I'm still #3 in the world, but I feel that Jannik and Carlos are far superior. We can't just sit back and watch them surpass us, we have to raise our level. Personally, I think there are 4 players who can challenge them: Djokovic, Fritz, Draper, and myself. In any case, I can't even think about that until I'm completely healthy, asserted Alexander Zverev, who will compete in Paris and at the ATP Finals, though with low expectations. His brief stint at the Six Kings Slam 2025 only reinforces the sense that he's stuck in a deep crisis of form, results, and identity. Alexander Zverev is already looking ahead to next season, hoping to compete in full physical condition, free of injuries, and to regain the level of play that has long made him a Grand Slam contender. He reflected on this in comments gathered by Uba Tennis, emphasizing the clear superiority of Sinner and Alcaraz, while naming 4 players who might challenge them in 2026. The Six Kings Slam has kicked off, confirming a controversy that was already in the air before the rackets even hit the court. And the organizers may take serious measures for next year, as spectators have begun to complain, at least on social media. As the tournament that offers the largest financial prize, $1.5 million just for participating and nearly $6 million for the winner, the invited players show up no matter what, even if they're physically unfit. At least, that's what both Stefanos Tsitsipas and Daniil Medvedev have shown. The first played against Jannik Sinner, and his presence on the court lasted just over an hour. The Italian showed that there's currently a huge gap between them, and the on-court spectacle didn't live up to what the crowd expected. A 6-2, 6-3 win sent the Italian to the semifinals, where he would face Serbian Novak Djokovic, who surely wouldn't be at his best physically either, after what was seen a few days ago in Shanghai. The second match, between Taylor Fritz and Daniil Medvedev, also made clear the strong financial motivation of the players. Yes, those who complain about the ATP calendar but forget all that when such a cash prize is on the line. The Russian lasted even less than the Greek, exactly 59 minutes, the time it took the American to knock him out with a 6-3, 6-4 scoreline. Now, Fritz will face Carlos Alcaraz, who in his first training session on the Arabian courts was already seen sporting an interesting bandage. Sinner's honest mental explanation for his physical problems that led to cramps in Shanghai: "I fell apart." Jannik Sinner returns to competition in the second edition of the Six Kings Slam after withdrawing from Shanghai due to physical problems related to cramps. The Italian, who is defending his title in Saudi Arabia and has little chance of overtaking Alcaraz for the number 1 spot before the end of the season, admits that the heat and humidity in China affected him and caused him to fall apart, leading to his withdrawal. Despite the fact that Jannik Sinner has managed to win 2 new Grand Slams in 2025, the Australian Open in January and Wimbledon in July, as well as the ATP 500 in Beijing, the season has not been easy for the current world number 2. A 3-month suspension that cut his season short after reigning in Melbourne was followed by several painful defeats to Carlos Alcaraz in Rome, Roland Garros, and the US Open, as well as the final of the Cincinnati Masters 1000, where he couldn't finish the match due to general discomfort. This setback was followed by his withdrawal from Shanghai in the third round against Talon Griekspoor, caused by cramps that prevented him from finishing the match against the Dutchman due to the tough conditions in the Asian city, something Sinner admits weighed on him psychologically. "It was my mistake. The heat and humidity got to me, and I fell apart. You learn from these things, cramps can happen, and I was one of many who suffered them," he said ahead of the Six Kings Slam in comments collected by Punto de Break. Even so, the Italian feels in good shape to face the final stretch of this irregular season. "I took 2 days off and then went back to work. I feel good physically and mentally. The conditions that week were very tough, but everything's back to normal now. I think it was a psychological factor. I spoke with my team, and from that point of view, it wasn't perfect, but now everything's fine," explained the San Condito native before starting his title defense in Riyadh. Although the chances of ending the year as world number 1 are slim, with Carlos Alcaraz in control, Sinner hopes to close the season by lifting the ATP Finals and Davis Cup again, and possibly adding titles in Vienna and Paris, the latter still missing from his record. "We are ready here and for the upcoming tournaments, the ATP Vienna, the Paris Masters 1000, and the ATP Finals in Turin. I hope to finish the year in the best possible way," he concluded.